live. It's NATO and Sarah Kirk. We're doing things. We're talking about the world. And I just wanted to say it's coming up on the season where people just have a lot of time off. The holiday season is time off season. So time off comes with time to learn. So we've decided to actually make it a lot easier for those of you who are trying to learn a lot for the holidays. And so, if it's going to be a few days in the next couple of weeks, and then all of a sudden, if you're going to school and stuff, you're going to be home for the holiday and the new year and all those good things. And, with 2021 coming in, January is when hiring budgets are ready and companies are starting to open budgets again. So for anyone who did run into the life of 2020, because 2020 it's been real. If we all know what 2020 was like. And the problem with hiring is a lot of companies had to close their hiring budgets. So if you were looking for a job around March, April, May, June, all of a sudden some companies started trying to reopen their budgets in July, and then they ended up closing their budgets again and had to do layoffs again because it's just been a vicious year. It's been a vicious year for entrepreneurs. It's been a vicious year for business owners. While some companies have been able to grow and flourish and things like that, hiring is not necessarily even as straightforward. Even for growing companies, they still have been putting hiring freezes. And now that it's almost 2021, people are getting ready to hire again. People are getting ready for the new year. People are getting ready to do some serious business. And now is the time to get going, because if you want to be ready for hiring season in January, you're not going to be able to prepare yourself last minute. So it's time to learn about Black Friday. So Sarah Kirk, go ahead and give everyone an idea. What are we doing here? It's Black Friday. What are we offering?
Right, and there's no reason to wait till the new year to work on yourself and self-improvement. Want to get a head start, so we have set up some deals to make that happen. We have a variety of packages that are suitable regardless of your skill level, from the very freshest beginner to the most senior DevOps developers. We have a package for you. So we have our free Pied Hacker prereqs, which is always free. And then we have our Pied Tinkerer cluster, right?
Yeah, and that's exactly what we're showing right here. So something that we've done this year, because it's been an interesting year, we built a platform for developers called the Olympiad. It actually is built for DevSecOps, so it's a tool and platform for building cloud security. It's technically has SIM built into it and all of those good fun things. But if you're trying to become a developer, we're like, well, why don't we build workshops to teach people how to become DevSecOps professionals in the cybersecurity space, where what's the best way to become the most talented cybersecurity professional other than to learn how the tools are built from ground zero? And there's a reason why people come out of our programs and get jobs or end up becoming we get people to the senior level. It's like the thing that we focus on. And then as a result, we ended up getting people to the point where they're getting hired into senior level jobs. And then they were like, well, we want something for us. And so we started creating content for people who are a little more senior. And that comes in the shape of this Dojo edition, Pied Tinker 2Pi cluster. And so for Black Friday, let's talk about what we're going to give you. So what you're looking at here on the screen is you're looking at our developer kits. We have one that's for professionals and one that's kind of for learners or people who do field development or field testing, or like if you're a field pen tester, then probably don't get a dual Pi cluster. If you're trying to do field work, field testing, all these things, we actually released a single Pi edition that's super clocked, where you can see it's kind of a small image here. Let me scroll in on this a little bit, but you can see where my mouse is. This little Pi system right here, notice that the dual cluster on the left, it doesn't have any specialized extra cooling solutions. Like we do put heat sinks on them and things like that. But this one that we just released, the entire inside is one giant heat sink that is the size of the entire Raspberry Pi, and the reason why we designed it that way is so that you can take it anywhere, you can throw it in a backpack, it's not going to overheat the same way. It still has to have airflow, so throwing something in a backpack and then closing it off where there's no air circulation, don't do that. But if you're trying to, do field testing and working on the go, sometimes like these things don't really do well in tiny spaces. They overheat, they have issues. And if you're a developer or a pen tester and you're trying to have your pen tester gear, you have to have reliable gear. And so we've created an especially reliable single Pi system that's designed for people who just either you're trying to do a home lab or you're trying to do like field testing of some sort. Maybe you're a pen tester. But if you're trying to do like cloud development or learn cloud security, then we have this dual cluster, which is basically designed for supercomputing. If you're trying to get into supercomputing, if you're trying to get into Kubernetes, that sort of thing, and you're trying to do all that stuff, then we are going to also include, for those who are interested in what we do, we're going to include our cloud hacking toolbox workshop for free, no matter which one of these kits you buy. So you can buy either kit. It's all about like, which set of hardware do you want? Do you want the hardware that's good for pen testing and field testing? Or do you want to learn more cloud security and cloud DevSecOps with clustering and all of that stuff? Well, like we teach clustering anyways, so if you're just trying to home lab and you don't necessarily have the most money and you don't want to spend $800, you can spend $500 and you can still build a lab that'll let you learn like basic cloud stuff. But if you're actually developing or building products, all that stuff, then we want professionals to consider getting a dual cluster so that you can start working with Kubernetes and start developing for those types of tools, things of that nature. So this also does include a workshop. So like every single one of these Pi clusters that we sell, it includes a workshop for just, learning how to tune the system, tune the hardware, hack the hardware. And then also like we are actually going to do something special, which I'll talk about a little later, but we're going to do a DLC add-on this week. So we're going to add a DLC add-on for the workshops that come with these. That's coming out. And then honestly, you also get $400 off of the Pied Hacker Experience, which the Pied Hacker Experience is our other workshop that basically is what gets people, like, we call it Zero to Hero for a reason. It's a workshop based on an RPG, but you're the real, you get your piece of hardware, and we have you build an entire cybersecurity program in one of these systems. An entire, like from ground zero, a cybersecurity program. The whole purpose of what we do is we have the program that gives you real world experience. There are other programs. If you want an instructor-led experience, you can go to places that have instructors. If you want some of these other experiences, you can get those. But what we do is we actually have you treat your own network that you live at, or if you're in a small office, then your small office or your home. We teach you how to run a cybersecurity program on your own network so that you actually know how to build cybersecurity tools. You build cybersecurity tools from ground up. And so we called that program Zero to Hero for a reason. So we're saying that's $400 off if you get that deal. And then also for anyone who is signing up for one of our workshops, we are going to, for the month, give everyone the rest of 2020 in our DevSecOps Dojo, which is continuous training for free. It is $150 a month for anyone else who wants to just join the DevSecOps Dojo. So if you're like a senior developer for like cloud security and things like that, the DevSecOps Dojo is oriented toward people who already are either trying to get to senior level skills or already have senior level skills. Our DevSecOps Dojo is not beginner friendly. And so it is a bonus add-on. And, whenever you finish these other workshops, you might not qualify for the dojo right away. So you can start your free month whenever you're ready. You don't have to start your free month right away. You can start your free month when you are ready for your free month in the DevSecOps Dojo. So you could actually get one of these deals right now and take, all of our workshops throughout the holidays. So, our workshops are Pied Tinker and Pied Hacker Experience. You can get both of these, $400 off of our big product, which is the Pied Hacker Experience. And then you then have all of the holiday time
Nita,
off.
Why don't you pull up our progression chart that we have there so we can kind of show people what we mean.
That's a good point.
Like you were saying, the appeal of what we do is it's self-paced. and you're getting real world hands-on experience of developing concrete skills. So formal education has its value, certifications has its value. This is more so focused on actual skills development, creating, developing,
That's exactly
learning
right.
how to do everything.
That's exactly right. Like, if your goal is to basically get to a point where, like, you have skills, maybe you have a college education, maybe you have a bunch of certifications, but what we try to do is we translate those skills into a job or a career. Now, if you already have like a job that you're happy with and you just want
Exactly.
to learn like the skills to kind of help you practice and keep your skills up to date, the DevSecOps Dojo is designed for continuous training. That's what it's for. That's why we created the DevSecOps Dojo. So if you're looking for like continuous cybersecurity education and continuous development training, then it might be for you too if you are already at more of like a senior level skill.
Or
But
maybe you want, maybe you're already in cybersecurity, but you want to get a shoot for a promotion in
yeah,
2021.
it's a great
Or
option to build a
yeah.
promotion, you know? So,
Or you're
mhm.
you're a senior developer and you want to start your own business, build your own products.
Yeah. So anytime you're trying to translate, so if you're trying to be a senior developer, or you are a senior developer and you want to refine your skills, or you're an entrepreneur, which if you're an entrepreneur, you are the senior developer. So really, entrepreneurs are senior developers.
Right.
Then anything that we offer is going to help you basically increase wherever you're at and get the most out of whatever skills you have, because it's one thing to know all of these technical skills. It's another thing to know how to use those technical skills to get a job or to get a promotion or to double your salary, or to go to some other type of role that you've always wanted to go to, but it's just always been elusive, right? If that sounds like
Right.
you, our products at wherever you are at, we have beginner level products. If you're a beginner, don't necessarily pay for anything. We have Pied Hacker Experience Prereqs, which is this right here, which is what it's showing. That's free. Beginners, free job resources for beginners. If you're getting to the point where you're ready to become a little more intermediate, or maybe you're already a little more intermediate and you're trying to push your skill level up to like a little more pro status, then, we have the Pied Tinker Workshop. And so we actually released that, where we had a Veterans Day deal that released last week, and that's something that enough people were interested in that we would like to also provide a deal for students. So if you're a student, we're going to give you $100 off of this Pied Tinker Workshop, the one that doesn't come with hardware. But if someone is like, I want to get like the hardware kit, I'm really going to try to go serious and try to really learn everything I can, and I want to, let's say 2021, do you want to be pushing yourself toward a senior level role in cybersecurity or DevSecOps, in cloud especially? If that's the kind of thing you want, then this is the time for you to go ahead and start investing in one of these developer kits. If you're not quite sure if you're intermediate or still kind of beginner level, you can always start with our, basic PyTinker Home Lab. That's also a field kit with the extra cooling. It also is easier to take around and take with you as a field kit. And then when you're ready to basically go zero to hero, it's $400 off of Zero to Hero Pied Hacker Experience if you buy any of these clusters. If you buy our hardware systems, or even this workshop right here, you also get $400 off of the Pied Hacker Experience. And so then basically we're also going to give you access to the DevSecOps Dojo. You'll get one free month, but we'll also give you access to the DevSecOps Dojo for the rest of the year. And we are actually hosting something special in the DevSecOps Dojo this upcoming week. So to kind of make this a little more clear before I kind of talk about some of the other things that we're doing here, is I'd like to outline how our products work. Like if you were to go and get the most out of our Black Friday deal, what you're looking at right here is what you get if you were to pick up one of our Pied Tinker workshops. You're going to get the Zero to Hero, like $400 off of that. And then regardless of what you get with us, we're going to go ahead and give everyone access to the DevSecOps Dojo who's joining and opting into our workshops for the rest of 2020. Anyone who gets into the DevSecOps Dojo before December, you're going to actually get special access rights and all these extra bonuses. And something else that we're going to be doing on Friday, we're going to be releasing an expansion for the Pied Tinker Workshop. So you're looking on the screen right here, we have this Pied Tinker Workshop and Home Labs. And the thing about these Pied Tinker Workshops and Home Labs is they teach you how to tune hardware, and they teach basic hardware hacking for basic overclocking. The reason for that is we've designed our tools basically to be able to run enterprise spec cybersecurity tools. If you're trying to run something that's not a cybersecurity tool, that's another story. But cybersecurity tools generally need the amount of power that these workshops teach you how to access in these systems. So that's why we do DevSecOps for cybersecurity. Our tools are sort of oriented for DevSecOps for cybersecurity. And then Zero to Hero teaches you how to build a cybersecurity program in one of these systems. So on Friday, just to kind of show you that I practice what I preach, we actually host our own cloud. So let me show you something. If I go to our own, if I go to Notia Point's website, this is my company. For one, screw 2020. Chart your own path. Let's just be real, right? And
2027.
Yeah, I mean, we can be honest, especially
objectively. I don't know a single person that 2020 was just like a good, great year for anyone.
Yeah, we can lie to ourselves. I'm sure there's someone out there who is like, yes. There's someone, maybe. And if you're that person, actually, I'm jealous.
Yeah, but I mean, just because 2020 was not great doesn't mean that we can't, set ourselves up for success in 2021. And regardless of where you are, you have an in to improve your cybersecurity skills. And we're offering a great promo right now. So if at some point you want to get to that DevSecOps developer level, but you're a beginner, you can buy the cluster that's appropriate for you. Say you do want to buy the DevSecOps, the Dojo edition of the cluster. You can start where you're comfortable, where it's appropriate for you, self-pace that, and still get your deal of free dojo, a month of free dojo, still get that exclusive access to dojo privileges. But join when you're ready, when you've reached the skill level necessary to do so.
100%. And so, if we go to our website,
and if you do it, and if you join this week, we have our expansion. Yeah.
Well, that's what I was introducing here. Is if you go to our website and you look at this right here, so we host our own apps. We host our own workshops and apps that we build and host in our own cloud. That's right. We are a company that teaches you DevSecOps for cloud and cloud platforms. So it only makes sense for us to have our own cloud and have apps that we host in our own cloud. And so I was thinking, what's the best way for us to give people a dose and a pure example of real world DevSecOps with cloud, in cloud, right? I'm like, well, why don't we just do live DevSecOps for our early access dojo members joining the roundtable this month? So anyone who joins our workshops now, you get DevSecOps dojo access for the rest of 2020. In December, anyone who doesn't complete the applications, we're not letting you in. But one of the things that I actually really want to invite everyone to is if you join the DevSecOps Dojo in any way, which means any workshop will get you in the DevSecOps Dojo that we have for the rest of the year, because we decided to do it that way. Because I'm going to live release a new DLC for our Pied Tinker workshop. So anyone who already got the Pied Tinker workshop and who's in the DevSecOps Dojo, you actually already know about this. I've talked about it a little bit. But to give you a little more of an idea, is these are our little apps. We built this. This is our software. Now, whether or not you like the way our software looks or whether or not you like how it works, the thing is, this is an app that we built, and we can update it without it ever going offline, where you can learn all this crazy stuff. It takes about it takes most people 3 to 4 months to complete the Pied Hacker experience. So this is the Pied Hacker experience. it usually takes a while to get going. And the first 2 weeks of the Pied Hacker experience do not require hardware. But we had released an expansion to the Pied Hacker experience called Zero to Hero. So this is not our first time doing DevSecOps to release an update, a massive update to one of our cloud apps, one of our cloud training apps. And we are going to actually do DevSecOps Live, where I'm going to show you the parts that I am allowed to show you, from a security standpoint. We are going to, together, in the DevSecOps Dojo, completely release a brand new expansion for our Pied Tinker workshop. And so, if we go and take a look at our workshops real quick, and we go and look at any of these Pied Tinker workshops on the screen here. So we have two different options. It's what I was showing earlier. There's a reason why we created that little chart, because it's already confusing enough. So if you're just looking at this without looking at the progression chart, it's like, well, which one do I buy? Well, I'll tell you this. Are you already at the senior level and you just are trying to really get serious about the skills? Then you already know some foundational basics to where trying to get into clustering is not going to be that much of a mind stretch. We recommend professionals pick up a dual cluster if you're already, senior level. Even if you're just like a senior level developer and you're trying to transition into cloud, or maybe you're senior level in somewhere that's not cloud security and let's say you don't want to take a pay cut to move over to cloud security, or you don't want to go all the way back down to beginner level to shift your senior skills over into cloud security. People at skills get the dual cluster. If you're a beginner, the dual cluster might be a little bit of a bear. And so we decided it makes more sense to give you the field kit. And if you're a beginner and you know that you want to grow into cloud and you know that you want to work with the dual cluster, that's a whole nother animal. But if you're I just want to get started with this, and you'd rather not spend $800, you don't have to spend $800. You can get the workshop with the single Pi cluster, and this will allow you to come and watch us do live DevSecOps. Well, this is the exact workshop right here. Both of these contain the same workshop, both of these. So either one, which regardless of whichever one you get, we're going to update this live. I'm going to actually show you how I do a new product release, all of it. Because ultimately, why do we do this stuff? Why do we do any of this? And then also, why do you want to learn from someone how to do cybersecurity stuff who doesn't know how to do it? We're going to actually show you, because that's what we do. So we're just going to show you. Why not? Because we can. Most companies honestly wouldn't show you this sort of thing because they don't want you to know how they make their money, and then they want to, all that stuff. But we're all about what? We make a living doing all this stuff, and we believe that we are not, we're just going to help other people have more success with us, honestly. We just want everyone else to win too. So we're making it just as easy for other people to either start businesses, or if you're running a company and you're trying to help your team have better skills and all those things, we actually are going to even open up a new opportunity, because we're talking about giveaways soon. One of the things I'm most excited about is we want to give away as much as possible, but we do have to be able to afford to do some giveaways. And one of the things that we run on a regular basis is something called Free Coaching Friday. So if you've been following us for a while, you've heard of Free Coaching Friday.
Before we move on to that, though, I do want to clarify, for you to get access to the live sprint, the live DevSecOps sprint, you do have to lock in your purchase this week by Friday. The sprint starts at 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on Friday, so your purchase needs to be in place by Friday to have, of any of the packages, to have access to that live sprint.
That's exactly right. So if you want to be a part of watching me actually do DevSecOps Live, if you don't get one of these packages by Friday, you're just not going to be able to be a part of us expanding this, rolling out an actual live cloud update to our own cloud on our own product, and then learning and we'll even talk about how do we get our products to sell? Well, we get our products to sell by creating things that help people, and we focus on translating your technical skills into skills, but we focus on finding business problems and finding a solution to them, and we want to teach other people how to find business problems with technology And you sell things by giving people something that they need, not necessarily something that you think is cool. That's an interesting
Right.
challenge that people run into. We have to be focused on what do people need right now. People are trying to go online. Entire companies are leaving their offices and having all of their staff suddenly go remote all of a sudden overnight out of the blue. And now people are focusing on, okay, so we're moving away from like data centers in our offices. Everyone's going to the cloud, and everyone wants cloud technology so that it's easier to afford working with their new remote lifestyle. And a lot of companies that can go remote right now, they have it a lot better in a lot of ways. And so we decided, since that's the thing that we have to offer, like I might not be able to teach you how to build other careers in life, but the career that we can teach you how to build is one that's online, that you can do from home. You can live on the other side of the country and work at a company that's nowhere near you. And, I used to do international cybersecurity, and when I did international cybersecurity, the thing about cybersecurity is it's online. And so, I would be working with people from Australia and the UK, and I would travel too, sure. So I would still go to sites, especially if it was like super high security that they got to send me to another country. But if I'm
Yeah.
not doing like super high country stuff, it's like every day I could be working with someone in another country. And like it's the modern world, and it's a way for people to still make a living when you can't go outside like we used to the same way, and when it's people aren't hiring in jobs the same way. Like if it's painful, and we've all felt it, where it's like a lot of the things that we loved and knew, and a lot of the things we're like, oh, it would be so fun to do. I used to go to a lot of concerts all the time. Now it's like, even if I wanted to go to a concert, it's like, okay, I got to think twice. And then even if I was to be like, okay, I'm going to take a risk and go to a concert, a lot of places just aren't even doing it either anyways. And that's
No.
a tremendous shift in the market, and it's devastating for a lot of us, but you can make money online. You can make money in cybersecurity, and these are the companies that are getting all the money because everyone's going online, because people are going to the things that help them survive, and people are going to the things that help them pay bills. And if all of a sudden the best way to 2021, go online. Let's get you there. We'll help you get online.
The reality is remote work and everything associated with it, the security, the skills. It's our new reality.
Yeah.
It's the way of the world now, whether we like it or not. So adapt or die, right?
For better or for worse.
So, mhm.
And it's just like,
So
maybe not the most exciting news in the world, but we're in a new era. We have the internet now. Once upon a time we didn't have the internet, and we really did have to go to offices, and we really did have to, meet each other in person, and there wasn't really an alternative. That the alternatives
Right.
to being in an office didn't really. It's really only been this past decade that it's been viable to start just running business 100% online for the mass market.
And now, if anything, showing up in person is the alternative, because very few, unless the job requires you be there in person, you're going to be remote more likely than not.
More likely than not. And the future, we're in it. And so we just want to give people the power to pick your own path, to where like you don't necessarily like. Right now is the time. It's the holiday season. It's the time when people have time off. It's the time when people have school breaks. It's the time where right now, like, retail is a booming market and stuff like that, which is a little interesting of a thing. But as soon as this season's over, like, the market that's going to be opening for hire is going to be in the tech sphere, and the first are the first people to be ready are the ones who get all the opportunities. Unfortunately, trying to get a job is a little bit of a race. I wish that wasn't the reality, but as soon as like budgets open up in the year, like companies are going to take the first person who seems like who they want to hire, and you snooze you lose. It's just business.
So why not spend your holiday break investing in yourself, and the return on your investment is going to be far greater than anything you could possibly spend education-wise. and you're going to have concrete skills that you can demonstrate, a portfolio of skills that you can prove to potential employers what your competencies are and make yourself more marketable and garner yourself a higher salary, a better position.
Yeah, completely. Like, that pretty much says it all. And so, yeah, we basically just want to do that. And then the other piece that we want to, I guess, specify is we are working on setting up giveaways. And I might whiteboard how our giveaways are going to work, because this is my favorite part, because I'm a philanthropist.
This is exciting. This is my and it's the holiday season, and Notia Point is in general all about, helping people and giving people tools to be successful. So this is going to allow us to just give even more to the people that need it, especially.
Yeah. So to my other philanthropists out there, people who like to help others, people who are in the season of cheer, who want to give basically the gift of a high-powered career to others. And, let's start with this. So what does it typically cost to run certain programs? Let's talk about how we do things, and then, how our giveaway is going to work, and how we're going to just say, let's say our education solutions versus, because I don't want to discredit other education solutions, but we do something very specific. Other education solutions. Let me just outline what we're doing and what we do in general, so that it's as clear as I can possibly make it. We typically, like, if
our program is not the same product as, say, a formal education at college or a boot camp or something like that. We have a totally different product than those.
Yes. And so oftentimes programs that you run into, you might get an instructor, which is a great thing. If you want an instructor-led option, now we have the DevSecOps dojo, so that's instructor-led, sure. But the DevSecOps dojo is for people who are more senior. So if you're trying to get to senior level, we just don't provide this. Simply put, we're not going to, it's one of the reasons why our products are affordable. We do self-paced because self-paced makes it so that we can help more people, because not everyone can afford, college or some of these other trade schools. And, there's value in having an instructor-led thing, but let me get it a little further into this. So,
but it's not always the right solution for everyone. We don't all need that. Some of us prefer the self-paced thing, especially on the remote online environment, as opposed to being able to attend in person.
Mm-hmm.
That works for some people better.
Oh, totally. And so it's like, most are also just not really real world. So if you're trying to get a real world experience, like, if you want to learn a lot of theory's helpful. Don't discredit the value of theory in education. I think all education is very valuable, but what we focus on is turn So one thing we focus on is we help you transition your existing skills into income. Something about the Pied Hacker experience is, anyone who's followed the Pied Hacker experience in the past or heard me talk about it, that's our primary, big main workshop that we have that helps people go from zero to hero. There's a reason why we call Pied Hacker experience our zero to hero experience, because Whether we have different difficulty levels. So let's say that you've never done DevSecOps or cybersecurity. We actually have a casual difficulty mode where it's like, okay, so maybe you have almost no skills. Go through the casual experience, and by the time you get through it, you'll end up with skills. You'll have some pretty base level skills, but you probably won't quite be senior level, but you'll at least have some skills to kind of get working with. Then, after you've gone through the casual difficulty mode in our Pied Hacker
Casual
experience,
mode, yeah.
then we go over to standard mode, which is where we expect you to be able to innovate and develop an actual product, which is like the next difficulty up. And then at that point, if you can do the Pied Hacker experience at the standard level and the standard difficulty, those are the skills that you need to get either an intermediate or you're approaching senior level skills at that point. I will warn you, it usually takes people about 3 months just to get through the casual experience unless you already have experience. The fastest anyone's gotten through the casual experience is 2 months. That's the record. No one has been able to get through the casual experience of the Pied Hacker experience in faster than 2 months. I would be fascinated to see if someone can beat that record.
Ooh, maybe we should give someone a prize if they do. I don't know.
Tis the season. Tis the season.
Yeah. we want you to do it and grasp it thoroughly, though. So I don't know if that's the answer, but and then eventually, when you DevSec Dojo is elite, your elite status. That's a thing in gamer world, right?
Yeah. So it's like if you're trying to, get those skills to push them towards senior level, the Pied Hacker experience is designed to refine your skills to get to more senior level, which does mean that you will have to learn boring things like code theory basics, and you'll have to learn boring things like the scientific method and first principle thinking. And so ours, instead of having an instructor, this is self-paced because everyone learns at different levels and everyone has different skill sets. So the Pied Hacker experience is designed like a video game that has different difficulty levels. If you've ever played some games, it's like they have like easy mode, medium mode, and then they have like hard, and then some keep going with like the difficulties. And so we wanted to create a true self-paced experience where it's like, if you have a PhD or a master's degree and you don't know how to convert those skills into income, come join us in the Pied Hacker experience and then talk to us. Talk to us in the Discord. If you direct message me in the Discord once you join that, then that's where I can talk to you, and I'm always happy to help people get into whatever your dream role is, especially if it's associated with DevSecOps or cloud security or both, So that's really what we focus on is the cloud security, DevSecOps. If you want those skills, if you don't want those skills, I guess it's technical. It's good for learning cybersecurity in general. It just makes you real technical and learn business skills.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And then the last piece here is it's all real world. Because what we do is it's a role-playing experience where you are in the office of the CISO and when you go into the role plays in the Pied Hacker experience. And so we actually have you set up an actual cybersecurity program for your home or small office. So if you are a small business owner and you're just like, man, I just need to get some cybersecurity going, this is also just something that you can just bootstrap Pied Hacker experience into your company and walk away with the cybersecurity program. So I guess from a B2B standpoint, if you are an entrepreneur and you are trying to just be like, I want more cybersecurity, this will actually have you build an entire cybersecurity program. Or if you want to know how a cybersecurity program works and what companies actually need and how all of the different facets of a cybersecurity program come together so that you can talk the talk because you walked the walk. And when you start talking about like the troubleshooting, they'll be like, well, how would you deal with a situation like this? You will have experienced a lot of situations by building your own home lab and dealing with your own things at home. And so if you're just doing the casual experience, that's still basically the Pied Hacker experience has gotten a number of people to go straight skip the entry level and go straight to senior level work. That's a common trend. Honestly, the Pied
And it doesn't have to be in cloud development, because once you've demonstrated that you have some technical skills in one area and some core competencies, Like you're going to have core competencies in code theory, various security principles that you can apply to various fields. We are just using the agnostic cloud development as our platform of delivering those skills.
Yeah, and so one of the other interesting things here that I just want to say is like the last little tile that I'm going to put here is our program is designed to be a fast path to senior level skills because we talk about, like, we cut a lot of the BS. I'll just say that. We cut a lot of BS and we get straight to the point for the thing, because what do companies want? It's really blunt. This is this is what companies care about. Companies care about bottom lines and if you can make them more money. Basically, ROI. ROI. Companies want to have the maximum ROI on hiring you. And if you know how to produce an ROI from your skills, a return on the investment that someone pays you, people pay more to people who know how to make them more money. And that's why we focus on just cutting a lot of the other stuff. And that's why also we turn existing skills into income, because if you already have a PhD or you already have a master's, actually, honestly, we get a lot of people who have PhDs and master's degrees. That's why I keep saying that. We honestly created the DevSecOps Dojo as another thing to allude to that, because most of the people we work with end up either they are senior level and they're trying to transition into a new space without going back to the entry level. You don't want to go back to the entry level. This is an option to help you skip the entry level. And so most of our people are either like already kind of around a senior level of something, or you're like right where you're just like, I just need to get to that next step so that I can like push myself into a new career space. And if you go to education, I'm heavily educated. I went to college. I have a degree in business, in theater, in communications, and and I've taken studies in data science. I have so many certifications. I'm heavily certified in like data science and cybersecurity, who knows what of whatever, and SIM and whatever. But just because I have all of those credentials doesn't mean that I know how to do something with it. After college, what I've found is most people they still lack the things that they need to move into a job even. So Pied Hacker Experience is oriented to move into a job. That's what it's oriented for.
Yes.
If you're not trying to get a job, it's not probably for you. And if your goal is
a job or start a business.
Yeah. If you're trying to
create your own job for yourself.
That's right. I guess that's the last thing is learn how to create your own products. Because what you develop in the Pied Hacker Experience is actually a product that you yourself made with your own hands, with your own time. And so we also find that a lot of folks will start building the skills and realize that they can start building their own products, which is why on Friday we're going to show you how we build our product, because we're finding that there's a growing need in helping our entrepreneurs now, where it's like they join the program, they're like, I want to build my own products and be an entrepreneur, and then they run into the next step, which is, well, okay, but now what? So now how do I convert this into the capital? So that's why we care about the DevSecOps Dojo. The rest of 2020, we're giving DevSecOps Dojo for free with our workstations. If you get into one of our programs before Friday, I'm going to actually show how we build our products, because we're going to release a rolling DLC expansion on our Pied Tinker workshop live. Like, I'm going to actually just spend all Friday and Saturday, however long it takes. I'll probably barely sleep. It's probably not going to be fun for me, but it'll probably be fun for you all, and you will see exactly how it works, because businesses want someone who can do that. And the thing is, why are we able to keep our products at a cost that's not comparable to others? Because here's the other thing that I didn't really outline here. To get all of this, let's outline probably the scariest part here that makes this decision a little complicated, right? Or maybe it makes it less complicated. So let's just do this. So if we think about $1,000 US dollars, 1,000 USD, that seems like a lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
Total, yeah.
Depending on what you're getting for it.
That's right. Alternatively, and I'm not dissing on these other programs. I promise there's a reason why the cost difference is so dramatic, and I'm going to talk about it. This is actually really important. This is going to seem completely unrealistic until I explain this. So, $20,000, it can cost, 10 to, well, I'll just put it this way. It in the past has cost $20,000 just to work with me, even like within the past year. If it was this time last year, if you weren't in a $20,000 program, there's no way you'd be learning from me. Now, it's instructor led for that money. I got paid a lot, so that $20,000 has to feed me, right? And the other instructors. So it's not just me making all this money. It's all the other instructors because we got to eat, and
the people coordinating the program.
That's right. Admin, that's right. You got to have
the light bill.
The light bill. You got to pay. You got to pay for the office. And oftentimes they have like a cyber range or some form of hosting, where then that hosting that they pay for is often way more expensive than us sending you a Raspberry Pi that can do more because we give you access to the whole set of hardware. And these other systems, like there's an admin who has to like restrict access so that you don't like hack their own company. Because you don't want to get hired in one of these companies and then they give you like free reign to their business assets and you just like wreck their company. No, they're not going to do that. What I'm saying is take a Raspberry Pi. You have free reign to your own environment, free reign to your own network. It's yours. It's consensual. Don't go hack other people. Don't take the Pi to hacker experience at Starbucks. You might go to jail. Oh, that's bad. Or McDonald's in the public Wi-Fi or the coffee shop. Don't do that, please. Just don't. Unless they're paying you to do a pen test and it was consensual.
No,
keep it consensual. But all of this equates to the cost. What we do is we just shave all of this away. Like that's what we do. Like straight up, we're just like, you know what? The reason why this costs so much money and why people can't afford to learn these skills is because all this stuff it costs an obscene amount of money. Offices,
it's the overhead.
The overhead is insane, and it's required. And this is another thing that's a little interesting: is when did this become possible? So let's see, when did this pricing become possible? I'm just going to straight up say 2019. Honestly, until 2019, the technologies that we use to dramatically drive the cost of this education down, until 2019, the technologies that we deployed didn't exist. And there's no way we would never have been able to deliver a service for $1,000 to teach what you're learning with this. It just simply wasn't possible. So we're like, whoa. 2019, new technology we started developing. All of a sudden, the pandemic hits, which is awful, and like people are getting laid off, companies are going under. People don't have $20,000 burning a hole in your pocket. Do you have $20,000 burning a hole in your pocket, Sarah, or not?
Oh,
It's like
yeah, I get
laying on the table.
No.
Yeah, and it's like.
And I mean, to be honest, I don't really have a grand to just spend, but if you're getting a return on that, it's worth it.
I think so. Yeah, and so and that's the whole point of us doing all of this is like, this is the time when people are trying to build these skills during a time when it's harder than ever to afford this stuff. And so what we're doing is we're trying everything we can to drive cost of education down across the board, across the industry, and showing the world by doing it ourselves. How can I get other people to do similar things so that this education becomes more affordable for other people? Teach the other businesses how to make selling education more affordable for themselves, because other organizations don't even know how to afford to like provide more affordable education. And unfortunately, they might be in a situation where it's a whole lot of money to try to shave your cost down from whatever this is all the way back down here, because business models, you can't just shift them all the time depending on what you're doing. If you have an office and all this staff, what are you going to do? Lay off all your staff and well, the offices, a lot of companies had to abandon their offices by June. That has been a pretty big thing. A lot of my past clients, before we started doing all of this, had to close offices around the world of all kinds of people. And, while a lot of them managed to stay in business off of fumes and scraps, hopefully they'll still be around next year. But then it's like, if your business is dependent on this model and all of a sudden you can't afford your instructors, like, what do you do? And that's just the reality, and that's just me being blunt as a business owner.
Right.
And so I'm like, we're going to do what everyone can afford, something that is easier for us to afford so that we can make it so that other people can afford us who are trying to get into these high-end salaries. And cloud is one of the highest paying areas in technology. So we're like, if we're going to teach people the modern technologies, we need to teach the best skills in the industry, the best skills, period, that pay the most, because a lot of people are trying to climb out of sticky situations that are rather awful. And we have some students with some heartbreaking stories, and we've helped people try to climb out of some pits, and they've done it.
Right.
And the Pied Hacker experience has helped some people climb out of some deep pits. And so, like, that's why we're doing this. And this wasn't possible in 2018. And you're like, why didn't people do this in 2018? The technology wasn't there. It's too expensive.
It wasn't there.
Yeah.
No.
It's just like technology flies. And so now it's like, whoa, all of a sudden the cost of development has been driven down dramatically over the past year to levels that the world has never seen. Never seen. So we are walking into the future. We're not going to worry about the past because the past is already burning. The past is becoming ruins. Literally, offices are becoming ruins. For the first time, people are leaving their offices and going to say, everyone go ahead and work at home. And people aren't buying the abandoned offices. And so the future's online.
Pinterest paid, what, close to $100 million to cancel their lease in San Francisco because they're going totally remote. Twitter's going totally remote.
Yep.
Google, Microsoft.
Yep.
It's just our reality now.
It now is saving companies hundreds of millions of dollars to go online. And if this is what people are doing, people are going to take that hundreds of millions of dollars that they're saving. And when do those budgets open up? January. When do you want to be ready? January. It takes 2 months for most people to get through the Pied Hacker experience. You're going to be mid-January if you get the Pied Hacker experience now and try to strong-arm your way through the casual mode. Maybe with the holidays, because typically people have full-time jobs or other things going on. Maybe if you have enough time over the holidays, maybe someone can get it done in like a month. I have no idea. I've yet to see it. Someone might be able to do it. But now's the time to start getting those skills going. And we're going to just show you how to like develop products and with our own. So anyways, that's a lot of stuff.
$89.5 million Pinterest paid to cancel their lease.
Wow.
That's a lot of money.
That's a ton of money.
It's a lot of money.
Oh, man. And, and this is not a unique situation. I've talked to a number of like people who are working at companies and people who are running companies. And it's interesting because around April, a lot of people are like, okay, everyone, it's lockdowns. Let's everyone go home. And people would say, we're going to try to return to the office in May. Then May came around. People were like, well, we're going to try to return to the office in June. And then all of a sudden they're like, actually, we decided to just give up on the office. And that is what's happening. And people are like, we need to make sure that people can work online and work with cloud. It's just...
And work securely.
Securely with cloud. So
some of these companies have their employees on their personal computers, on their own personal home Wi-Fi networks, and I'm just
no.
what are you doing?
And It's so bad. Because it's like, what do you do? It's like all of a sudden, April hits, May hits, lockdowns hit, everyone goes online, and you're like, okay, everyone, just go online. And companies weren't ready to secure the people going home. So people are going home with their laptops, or they have desktops at home that may already be infected by who knows what. Or, like, on your home network, you have like family members who might know nothing about anything in technology. You have and what about a salesperson? Most salespeople could care less about the technology stuff and don't even know how it works in the first place. And they're the most likely to, no, maybe not the most likely. Anyone can get hacked. If you think you can't get hacked, you're probably the person who's going to get hacked the most. So
for sure.
The person who thinks they can't get hacked, I'll even tell you that I'm a cybersecurity professional. I've watched so many cybersecurity people get hacked, and I've had to deal with hacks. It makes more sense to learn how to react to attacks because it's going to happen. One of the things that I always taught is like reactive security. Why do I teach reactive security? Why do I teach DevSecOps? DevSecOps is putting security in your development so that you get a return on your investment for your development and security at the same time. Cybersecurity with an ROI. DevSecOps gives you cybersecurity with an ROI. This is a thing. And so that's why we're like...
It makes sense to me to not integrate security into your development.
Yeah.
Like, you're making it harder on yourself if you want to develop your product and then retroactively apply security. You're going to make your life more difficult. It's going to be easier. It's going to be more secure to integrate security as you're developing. And more companies are moving towards that anyway.
Yeah, so I'm going to just put this on the screen. So I'm going to say I'm building a DLC expansion live with DevSecOps this Friday for anyone who joins one of our workshops. Yes, workshops. We're doing this with the DevSecOps Dojo, so this is a DevSecOps Dojo event. Very specifically, a DevSecOps Dojo event. And so let me just put that on the screen too. So this is in the DevSecOps Dojo. Once again, all of our workshops are going to come with DevSecOps Dojo access for the rest of 2020. We want to help as many people as possible. And this brings us to the last thing that we want to do is we wanted to figure out how to help as many people as possible, like the maximum. Like, how can we help as many people as possible? Because even though we've figured out how to drive down the cost of education tremendously for these types of things, one massive last bastion that we stand against is so many people have lost their incomes right now and lost all of their livelihoods right now who are just trying to get back on their feet. It's just true. And it's just the world we are in 2020. And it's awful. Like we have to deal with watching like everyone around us burn, and then we're like, well, how about we help you? And our students are like accelerating and succeeding and doing all these great things and getting all these senior level jobs and then the rest of the world's on fire. I'm just like, oh no. And our products are still $1,000 is not, if you ended up in a bad situation and you're just trying to do stuff. One of the reasons why we launched Free Coaching Friday is because we're like, well, how about we try to help people get an income for free so that you're not just like, I don't know what just happened. Like, my life just flipped within months, right? Like, so fast.
And then the prereqs too are free. It gives you a little bit of a foundation to where you can very feasibly get a job.
Yeah.
With only free content.
Exactly. And so it's like, if we're doing DevSecOps and all these good things and all the fun stuff, not only do we have tiny huskies that are the size of my head. That's besides the point. This guy's just following me around today. But one of the things about all of that is we want to open up an opportunity for sponsorships because we've been getting a lot of questions. We're like, how can I sponsor someone? And because
this is fun. This is exciting.
Yeah.
I'm excited about this.
Because we were like, well, we could do cash prizes, or alternatively, we could do like some sort of little like dinky thing that you get one time. But we're like, well, what about the gift of giving someone a high-end career that they can climb out of like a hole from, right? When you've got like this situation, this actual world situation that's hit hard, and you're like, how can I turn my situation around? But what if you don't, once again, sure, we don't have $20,000 necessarily just burning a hole in your pocket, but some of us don't even have $1,000 burning a hole in our pocket. And while we can't really afford to deliver one of these products like for less, what we can do is we can find people who can afford to sponsor and people who want to help those who are basically good for it, and all you need is a little help. Because sometimes
and we have people that are already asking us and ready to provide that sponsorship.
Yes, that's where it's coming from.
It's the gift that keeps on giving. It's you'll be able to start in a more advanced position in your career, and you'll have a more solid base of skills.
And that brings me to, I guess the question is, because we decided, and for now I'm going to say, talk to Sarah Kirk about this if this interests you. We'll have more information on the sponsorship later, but the question being, how can I sponsor someone in need? An emphasis on that, because this is exactly what the situation is. This is the season of giving. And what's more exciting is, like, this is the time when people have time to turn their lives around, because it's the holiday season and all this stuff. And, you know,
hiring season's coming up.
Hiring season's right around the corner. People just so happen to have, hopefully, the time right now. And I'm sure you want to start 2021 with a bang, with like something super high powered where you have a lot more.
Let's make 2021 better than 2020, please, God, please.
Oh man, seriously. So we want to open the door for sponsorship, but then one thing I'm also going to say, so I'll give you a few details now. If you want to get if you're interested in this, talk to Sarah Kirk. We'll get you more information later. So let's see. So what we're offering here is, it costs about $1,000 to cover one person, to get them like to a serious level where they're a high contender. If someone takes that whole workshop, goes through all this stuff, and it gives them something to put under the for holiday gifts if they want to receive a thing, because it comes with hardware. So $1,000 equals like resources to build a powerful cloud or DevSecOps career. And then something I really want to outline is, for every single person who's willing to sponsor someone, this is really probably one of our top Black Friday things. We want to have a Black Friday deal for people who are sponsoring people, because we appreciate the spirit of giving, because we are givers. We do free coaching Friday every Friday. And so resources to beginners, and especially those who are in situations where they're in need, teach them how to build an income in an industry that can pay them. And this is the industry that can afford people. Not all industries can afford people anymore.
We need people. There's a skills gap.
Yes. This is the industry that can afford people. Not all industries can afford people, and it's unfortunate, but it's just true. It's just true. So that's something that we really want to hammer on. So then I'm just going to add here is, we will do one give away for every sponsored every sponsorship on us. This hopefully doesn't sound too confusing, but for every person who spends basically $1,000 to sponsor someone, we will also, at our own expense, give like someone else like
the full package.
The
same exact full package.
That's right, the same exact full package. And what this is going to include is, it's going to include our Pied Tinker workshop with the Pied Hacker experience, 0 to hero, because this is our proven process that, without fail, time and time again, has shown strong results and helped people segue into careers from situations where they're like, I don't know if this is possible. I don't know if this is going to work out. These are the messages I get. I'm like, I don't know if this is going to work out. And then all of a sudden they're like, I got a job. And then they're like, well, they only hired me part-time. And then like a week later, they want to promote me to a manager and give me a salary. And it's like, we create the things that dreams are made of for those who are willing to work. And so if you're a person who your only problem is that hard times fell on you, but you're good to work, we want to try to do everything in our power to take those willing to work. And maybe we can't afford to take care of everyone, and maybe not everyone can take care to afford everyone, but for every person who's willing to sponsor someone, then we are also going to sponsor someone, which means that for every $1,000, we're going to help 2 people, including whoever the person who, the person you sponsor, and we're going to do a sponsorship in Free Coaching Friday, where, whoever, you have to actually be in Free Coaching Friday to receive one of our giveaways.
You can, if you want to do a sponsorship and you have someone in mind, whether it's an employee at your company or a LinkedIn connection that could use a leg up, you can choose your recipient of the sponsorship. Or because we will be doing Notia Point sponsored packages, we will have a vetting process for those who are wanting to receive the package, so we can also help you identify someone who could use that sponsorship. And we're going to make sure that it goes to people who are serious, who are really going to make full use of it, and your money will be going to a good cause.
Exactly. And I was thinking about what is the thing that we can do this year that one thing that we do is we like to give. It's just what we do. We could charge a lot more for everything we do. We could try to focus on maximum profit and all these things. We focus on growth, sure, but something that's really important and imperative to us is reinvesting in our people. So when we make money, we give. And so that's our goal is if you just want to do some good for the holidays and you just want to help make someone's next year and help someone transition into a high-powered career, and maybe there's someone who's in a bad situation, but that they really want to get into cloud and that they're good for it, come talk to us. Talk to Sarah Kirk, and we'll get you all sorted out and get you set up with making sure that they're going to get taken care of. And we talk to them too. The only people we don't talk to are people who don't talk to us. So if someone gets the program and I try to talk to them, that's a whole nother story. But for the most part, people talk to us and people really appreciate what we do. So we just do the best we know how to do. And we help as many people as we know how to help. And we're like, how can we help more people? We're asking for help to help more. So if you want to help us help more, help us help more. And that's what we want.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we're willing to do the work, and yeah.
If you are a person who is in a bad spot, if you're the type of person where 2020 just really kicked you in the teeth, and you are trying to elevate your skills, move into a different career field, or whatever the case may be, whichever's applicable, in order for you to be qualified to be a recipient of a sponsorship, you'll need to submit your LinkedIn profile so that we can peruse your background and see what you're working with and what your intent is. You will need to join the Notia Point Facebook group, and we'll be expecting you to show up on some Free Coaching Fridays. We know you can't show up to all of them, but it's going to be your way of proving to us that you mean it and you're serious about it.
Exactly. And, we have a growing community. We have an incredibly supportive community. And, we're finding more ways to help people by the day and be able to afford to do it. And so we're just trying to come up with every way in our power to try to afford to do more and help more and spread the love. Because, this is what helps make this, so spread some cheer. Spread cheer with us if for those who like doing it. So we just want to say thank you. Honestly, it's because of our community that we can do any of this in the first place. Our community we're purely community funded. We're completely bootstrapped. We're community backed. We don't have investors. We don't have all these other things that other companies have, telling them how, we tell each other how we're going to run our business. And we're like, what do you think we should do? How can we help more people? We want to do it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we want to do it our way and nobody else's way. So,
yeah. and we like giving. So we've also run into we've also found that a lot of our customers are like us, where they like giving too. It's like, well, then let's just all give together. And it's just, I guess we find people like us because we just like to give.
That's how I ended up here. It's not all about profits. It's about helping people, empowering people.
That's right. And it's like, that's why we charge what we need to keep the lights on. We charge what we need to eat. We charge what we need to like do the basics and all of those things. And then like we try to just maximize giving as much as we can and help people build their incomes, help people build their careers. You know, as a result of it, we don't necessarily have like the ability to go do a bunch of mass hiring ourselves. Instead, we help other people get into all kinds of jobs because we find that other people can provide more opportunities if we work together with like different companies and help people find like all these open doors and open opportunities. And so we help people change their lives by, you know, getting them into the places that are going to make them incomes that are the kinds of incomes that, you know, we've made in our past careers at companies. Now we work for ourselves now, but once upon a time we had company salaries. Now we're entrepreneurs. I like being an entrepreneur. It's pretty awesome. But for you entrepreneurs out there,
we can do things the way we want to, and we can do stuff like this, which is so much more fulfilling. And like you also get access to an incredible community, so you'll have mentorship opportunities, networking. You're definitely going to have way more of an in. We have people working at some pretty big cybersecurity companies that you're going to get to know on a personal level through this process, just by matter of being a part of the Notia Point family.
Yeah.
And that's going to open some doors for you.
And, you know, we're just glad that we can do all of this. And then once again, we are doing a live DevSecOps. So for those of you who are entrepreneurs, especially for you entrepreneurs out there who want to know how we build our products and how we make money off of our products and how our cash flow works, our monetization model, all those bits. Like a lot of that's part of the DevSecOps dojo. And it's like, wait, why are you talking about money if it's DevSecOps? Budget. If you can't afford DevSecOps, you got to figure that out first. You got to be able to afford the DevSecOps, and then you have to be able to do the DevSecOps. You need both skills to run a business. So for those of you who are entrepreneurs, we teach all of these things. We'll help you get a business off the ground, and that's why like the DevSecOps dojo is oriented to senior developers who are probably, if you're a senior developer, you're working with budgets anyways, and if you are an entrepreneur, whether you like it or not, you're dealing with budgets anyways. So we just teach you how we make our money, how we get our products, how we flip them, how we revolve them, so that if you want that freedom that we have and you want to know how we bootstrap, you can do it too. It's not easy. Sometimes it's, as Gary Vee would say, if you like getting punched in the mouth every day, entrepreneurship might be for you. And, you know, the other entrepreneurs out there, you already know I mean it. But it's the only way for some of us, and for those who
we can help you make it a little bit less painful to get punched in the mouth.
Yeah, you don't have to, because we had to build it. We built our own business model. Like it's a thing which comes with a lot of testing. And I also come from, like, my parents were entrepreneurs. I was raised by like basically like investors and people like that. And then I also, like, as a result, it's like the investors had all the money while my family's like trying to figure out all the stuff, which is it's weird because it's like you're living in poverty because your parents are entrepreneurs, but then you're always in these like people's multi-million-dollar mansions and stuff like that, like, because that's where the board meetings are, and they're the ones who are helping your company, your parents, like, run their business. I saw that life, and I was like, I would like to be an entrepreneur, but can I do it without the invest? I love the entrepreneurs I grew up with. They're like family to me. But it's a thing. If you bring investors into your business, you need to understand that they basically become family. And so if you want to bring on investors, just make sure they're people you like. And there are some great people out there, but sometimes it's nice to just have the freedom to just run the business how you want, in a way that you can afford.
Also, they have a say. As much as you can try to build a wall there, realistically, if they're giving you money, you have to listen to them, at least to some extent.
Yeah.
And we want to do things the way we want to do them.
Yeah.
So Yeah.
So like our investors are our community. So if our customers like something, we're like, oh sweet, you guys
Exactly.
like this? Well, let's do what the community wants. Let's give the community
It's
what the
more of a
community is willing
co-op,
to pay for.
really.
Yeah, it's a co-op. I guess we run
Yeah.
a co-op. The DevSecOps, and we're teaching people how to build cloud technologies. And with the DevSecOps Dojo, we are actually going to be building a cloud long term. Now, this is going to take some time. Right now, the DevSecOps Dojo is just getting started. We'll talk about that in a separate video. If anyone's been following that for a while, then you already know
Yeah.
about the cloud
Oh
underground.
gosh.
But
Yeah.
now's the time to do this. So, anyways, I just want to say thank you for everyone who's watching. We are streaming to Vimeo, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook all at the same time. So following chat is impossible with what we're doing and the way that we're doing. We'll probably try to come up with a way to like
Been
combine all the
trying.
chats someday. But that's why Free Coaching Friday we just do one chat. And if you wanna
Yeah.
talk to us, then Free Coaching Friday we follow at least one of the chats. The rest of the time, it's like it goes to everything. We're like, well, which chat do we follow? So one of these days, we'll figure out a better way to somehow follow all of these chats
But to kind of sum it up,
somehow.
we have a package for you, regardless of your skill level, varying price points depending on what you can afford. But the intent is to empower you and level you up in your cybersecurity and DevSecOps career, get you into cybersecurity if that's applicable to you. If you purchase a package this week, you will have access to the Live Sprint DLC expansion that we'll be releasing. If you sign up in November, you will have not only a free month of dojo access. If you're ready for the dojo, from the moment you sign up to the end of the year, you will have access. So if you signed up tonight, you will have 44 days of access to the dojo. Or if you're not quite ready for the dojo yet, when you're ready, you'll have access to a free month of dojo. And you'll have special privileges as an early adopter. If you sign up in December, the same free dojo deal. And and if you are in the giving spirit, you can sponsor someone with one of these packages. And for every sponsorship that we get signed up, we will foot the bill for a second sponsorship. We can help you find the person you want to sponsor, or you can sponsor whoever you like. We will be making sure that the people who are sponsored mean it, are serious about it. I think that about kind of sums it up.
Yeah, I think so. And so, like, we're just excited to really start opening a lot of those doors to really help more people. One of the reasons why we started the DevSecOps Dojo was so that, I've learned that I'm a senior developer. When I started Noja Point, I had real bad imposter syndrome, and I was like, I don't have senior developer skills. And then I was like, oh, actually, I can build whatever I want. And so here we are today. And I was like, oh, yeah, I can just teach everyone how to build whatever they want. And so here we are today, teaching everyone how to build whatever they want. And so you can accomplish more than you think you can. And for those of you who like might be thinking to yourselves, like, could I start a business, or could I like move into a cloud security job? Is that something that I'm capable of?
Yes, the answer is yes.
That's right. So,
and we can help you get there.
That's right. And so now that we have both of us, my problem in the past was it's really hard for me to keep up with everyone, but now we have Sarah Kirk. So feel free to talk to Sarah Kirk with any questions. We're going to keep doing some sessions and talking about the world. And tomorrow I want to outline like some world problems that we all have to deal with and face that are kind of frustrating, kind of a pain, and make me want to bash my head against a wall sometimes because industries, you have problems all across the world, across the industry, and we're going to start solving things, including like helping companies get talent that's going to help them beat an ROI, and helping the talent have the skills to get companies ROIs, which is why our people tend to get hired. While that's what our program's for.
It can be difficult otherwise. Yeah. It can be.
That's right.
And the only way to solve these problems is to identify them clearly and march forward. So that's kind of going to be what we're talking about a little bit further on.
Yeah, completely, you know. So
yep.
Thank you for...
Again, if you need anything, if you want the discount code for military or students, you got to come through me because I have to verify your status as a veteran or military or student.
Yes.
And you could come to me with any questions about any of our packages, sponsorship, all of it.
That's right. So talk to Sarah. I'm going to be focused on making sure that I can do this live DevSecOps stuff. I got to do my planning, all these other things. Like, I'll still be around and things, but we wanted to make it much easier to talk to us and ask questions. So Sarah Kirk is a champion. She's a gladiator. She's a boss. She's a Spartan, and she's all of the things. So, so she's our champion. So we just want to make it easy for us to help more, and she is our gateway to everyone else's success too. So she's here to make it easier for us to help you succeed. So
the gateway to greatness.
That's right, gateway to greatness. So Black Friday all month long. We decided not to do it on only Black Friday weekend. So our Black Friday is the rest of the month. So Black Friday is open season. All of our deals are live. Talk to us. Figure out what you want. If you're not sure which product you should buy, we've decided to, outline it with these fancy schmancy little diagrams and all that good stuff. So, if you don't know if you should buy the single ply or the dual ply or just get a workshop. If you're limited on capital and you just want to join the DevSecOps dojo, or you just want to join the DevSecOps dojo and you already have a Raspberry Pi and you don't care about all the kits, get the $250 PyTinker workshop. It'll get you into the dojo for the rest of the year.
Or $150 if you're military or student.
That's right, military or student. Talk to Sarah Kirk, get your $100 off. Or alternatively, if you are like, okay, I want the hardware, I don't have a Raspberry Pi, maybe you don't even know what a Raspberry Pi is. Maybe you just know that you want a developer kit and you want a workshop that teaches you how to be a cloud developer. Great.
We'll drop a link to the charts so you can kind of check those out and see where you might land, what you might want to purchase.
Yeah.
And if you have any questions, hit me up. I can walk you through the process and help you decide what would be best for you.
Yeah, and so we just want to say thank you to everyone who made this possible. We just want to keep working with the community to keep growing opportunities, and we want to bring in a strong holiday season, and we want to bring in the season of giving. So for every sponsor who gives, remember, we give away too. We're going to give away just as much as what you're giving away. That is on us, where we are actually just spending our own money on our own stuff because we believe in helping people. So that part's not necessarily going to benefit us financially so much, but it is going to benefit someone else financially who's going to build a career and who's going to get into a high-powered place. And that's why we're doing it, because at the end of the day, all we have is people. Like, we got to stand up for each other. We got to stand up for our communities, and that's what we're trying to do to the best of our ability with the resources that we have available to us. So we thank you all, because this literally would not be possible without any of you. Let me tell you how long, we started building our products and our platform, like this entire cloud platform with our learning center and our, all of our little products here, all this stuff. We started doing this in August. No, that's not true. We started developing in June. And then we had our first release of the PyHacker Experience, which is this right here. We released the PyHacker Experience, where we released half of the product for half of the price it is now to fund building the rest of the product. So it was $400, and we released it at the very end of July. And then at the beginning of August, it did so well that we were able to make the prerequisites for PyHacker Experience free because we did so well. So we were like, oh, wow, we made enough money to make this free? So we did. And now hundreds of people have gotten this. This helps people get an entry-level job. If you want to skip the entry level, get the full PyHacker Experience, but this helps people get an entry-level job for free. And it might be a little harder to get a job with this than just getting the full PyHacker Experience where you get crazy skills. But then finally, as the year went on, we just kept being able to build. And within 6 months, we've built a software platform. We have our own entire learning platform here with all of these workshops that we have, our own apps. We built all of this. As of June to now, we built it all ourselves. We run all of this ourselves. We maintain it all ourselves. It's our development, it's our products, and now we have the knowledge to share. We can teach other people how to do this. And we are proof that it's possible. This is a reality. And not only are we proof that this is possible, but our customers are proof that you can move into one of these high-powered jobs. You can move into one of these high-powered careers. And it's hard, yes. Our workshops are hard. There's a
And it,
yeah.
in life worth having, you gotta work for.
Yeah, yeah. So, it's not, we don't just hand you something easy, like, this is hard stuff. But if you're ready to put yourself to the test and put yourself to the grindstone, this is the time before 2021 to be ready for the hiring season. And I'm just saying that
Set
out of pure
yourself up
bluntness.
for success.
Get ready for the new year. That's right. So, anyways, thank you again, everyone. This is the most incredible life experience I've ever had, and I just want to share this experience with everyone and share the knowledge that we've gained from all of this. And I've built cloud products for other companies in the past. We've built our own cloud product, and you're looking at it with your own eyeballs, and we're going to do an update for it. And while I, can't
It's gonna be fun.
pay $5 million to have a crazy $5 million team, we have the skills to produce the types of things that people need investors to do otherwise. So come with us and learn skills so that you can get control of your life. Or you can help someone else get control of their life. So anyways, thank you, everyone. We're going to go ahead and wrap up this session. But we appreciate everyone. We appreciate the journey. And here we are. Let's go. Let's